Coming up after the break, Tiger TV's living, breathing sports encyclopedia, Seth Hewlin, will join the show.
Pretty great. We're getting down the home stretch now of the college football season, and of the top 10 teams, only 4 still clean in the loss column, each with a Heisman contender QB. For this week's Back It Up, we'll break down these 4 passers, give you our Heisman picks, and back it up. Starting in the Big Ten, we got Braxton Miller, who has captained the Buckeyes to 22 straight wins. Definitely the best of these 4 with his feet, almost 600 yards on the ground this season. But weakest passer, that coupled with a weak schedule, may keep him out of New York. Moving down south to the SEC country, McCarron is looking to take his 3rd national title in a row. But the trophy's no career achievement award so far this season. Almost 2,300 yards, 21 TDs, and only 5 picks. The most impressive number, though, 0. That's how many negative plays Bama has had since October. Heading west on I-10 to Waco, Baylor's Bryce Petty has been putting up video game numbers. Nearly 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 1 pick. 1. Found his team down 20-7 to Tech in the first quarter, but rallied to a 63-34 win. Oh, by the way, that was the 6th time that Petty and that offense have put up over 60 points in a game. Lastly, freshman phenom Jameis Winston. Now, this kid came into a great situation. He'd be the first to tell you there's talent all around him, but he's really answered the bell and been the glue that this Seminole team was looking for. Almost 3,000 yards of his own, 28 TDs, 7 picks. But when you watch this kid play, he puts the ball in windows that you just don't trust other college quarterbacks to get it into. I don't know if it's the baseball background or what, but this kid is crazy accurate. He makes mature decisions with the ball, and when he's got to step up and make a throw, he makes it. Now here's Winston on his team's most recent performance, a 59-3 drubbing of Syracuse. Well, Derek, I noticed since I stepped up my bow tie game, you couldn't really hang. It's unfortunate. More importantly, how are you guys doing? Smell it out there this morning? October. Long and grueling regular season is over, and playoff baseball is finally here. For this week's Back It Up, we're going to give you our World Series picks, and that's right, back it up. Tons of surprises around the league. Only 2 of 6 teams from last season reclaimed their division pennants. And remember, in the second year of this new playoff system, those division titles mean the difference between a 5-game series and a one-and-done scenario in the first round. Just ask the Reds. It all came down to last night for them, but they were sent packing in the first round by the Pirates. 6-2 final in Pittsburgh. Speaking of the National League, let's take a look at how that's going to play out. You already have the Pirates advancing to play the Cardinals, and on the other side, Braves have home field against the Dodgers. Moving over to the American League, tonight, winner take all, Indians versus Rays, wild card round. Unfortunately for the Rays, they just trotted their ace, David Price, out on Monday in the wild card tiebreaker against the Rangers. Tough spot to be in for their number 2, Alex Cobb. He's got 1 shot to get 1 win. Got the Athletics with home field over the Tigers, and then the Sox play whoever's going to come out of the wild card game. Boston's been on an absolute tear lately, 15 out of the last 23. Still, they got to watch out. The Tribe has got the vibe, y'all. And if the Indians get past the Rays, the Fighting Franconas will be headed up to Beantown. Boston is a town that's all about history, especially when it comes to sports. The manager, who would be sitting in the visiting dugout, won their only 2 titles in the last century. Look for that to affect a potential divisional series, especially after Francona's comments about the collapse 2 years ago when he was still managing in Boston. Pretty well. Sox already beat Scherzer, beat Verlander. We're home free pretty much. Now, like Derek said, every year Ole Miss and LSU play in the Magnolia Bowl. It's only been called that for about 5 years now, but the teams have met almost every year since 1894. Tigers are marching into the Grove for the primetime game Saturday night, but the Rebs made a similar march into Death Valley Halloween night in 1959, not knowing they'd leave as part of Louisiana sports lore forever. Neither the first-ranked Tigers nor the third-ranked Rebels had given up a touchdown in the first 7 games of the 1959 season. Ole Miss managed a field goal in the first quarter, but the defenses were so stifling, the score remained 3-0 well into the fourth. It seemed neither team was going to put 6 on the board this Halloween, but Billy Cannon had one more trick up his sleeve for Ole Miss, and one more treat for Tiger fans everywhere.
Billy Cannon watches it bounce. He takes it on his own 11. He comes back.
Today we're going to look at this season's rookie crop, give you our picks, and, of course, back it up. Start with newbie, Mike Glennon. This kid has a cannon, and at least according to Shiano, has been openly competing for the starting job since day one. He's getting the start over Freeman, who came into the season on shaky ground, 1 for 5 at the end of last season. New coaching staff who inherited him. More often than not, that means a change is coming. Look for Tampa to start shopping Freeman around the league. Moving on to guys not making their first start, Geno Smith looked improved in Sunday's win, 300-plus yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, but didn't take any sacks. A huge win for that Jets O-line. Looks like Geno has found some continuity with Santonio Holmes in the receiving corps, but penalties are killing this offense. 20 penalties for 168 yards. A football field and a half. That sloppy play, Jets. Got to clean it up or it won't matter how well Chino plays. On the other side of the sideline Sunday, E.J. Manuel did not have his best performance. 19 for 42. Stayed clean in the INT column. I think everyone has conceded it's Manuel's spot to lose, even when Cobb comes back, but ultimately, they have to put more around him. Jets brought the pressure, and Manuel could not handle it. 1 for 10 when the Jets brought 5 or more. 1 for 8 when they brought a D-back. Translation, Bills O-line cannot handle the blitz. Manuel can't work the pocket. Both are going to have to start to happen for Manuel to see some success in Buffalo.
Well, Seth, week 2 of the NFL is in the books, and there's surprises all over the place. We have bad teams that are 2-0. We have good teams that are 0-2. And Tom Brady's passer rating is way below average.
Terrible. Yeah, it is.
I just don't know how to explain it.
Coming into week 3, there are stories all over the place. For this week's Back It Up, we're going to take a look around the league, tell you what 0-2 teams we think are contenders, what 2-0 teams we think are pretenders, and as always, back it up. We're going to start in Nolans, where the Saints got a huge last-second catch from Colston to slay the Bucs and improve to 2-0. Looks like with Peyton on the sideline again, this offense is humming. And Rob Ryan coming in the offseason, their defense looks a lot better. Honey Badger and the Cardinals are on their way to the Dome Sunday, and Breeze is going to have to account for number 32 at all times if he wants his offense to keep the ball. Chiefs moved to 2-0 with a nail-biter against Dallas. Some big offseason acquisitions there, including new starting quarterback Alex Smith, new head coach Andy Reid. 2 wins this season. Already they've equaled their win total from last season, a season that saw them put 6 players on a Pro Bowl roster. Reid marches them onto the link in Philly to face his old Eagles squad Sunday and hopes to pass last year's win total. Lastly, a lot of crying going on in the Capitol as the Skins are 0-2. RG3 is about 3 months removed from getting a new knee, and there's already talk about him being benched for Cousins. The backup took Griffin's spot in the preseason and performed pretty well, but was sat for week 1. Griffin has been seeing ghosts in the backfield, and with that Lions D-line coming in, Cousins just might get the call.
And what an interesting Heisman race this year. Lots of great characters. You got, Jameis Winston, another freshman. Now, out of that list, who do you like to win it?
First of all, I'd like to say honorable mention to Johnny Manziel, but you can't end up on this list if you hang 2 losses. I got to say Jameis. Kid, he's most NFL ready looking to me. He has the most poise. Look for him to be playing on Sundays. Look for him to be taking down the trophy.
Great talent. Also young. Hope to see him next year. Bat, who do you like?
I'm sticking with my preseason pick. I've already lost all my friends over it, but as much as I hate to say it, A.J. McCarron. I mean, the guy's done great throughout his career. Although it's a season trophy, this guy is going to his 3rd national championship this year. He will most likely win it in my mind. And he's a leader, which is what I believe the Heisman is most used for. I mean, it's really one of the categories that people should be voting on.
Yeah, but it's the efficiency also, big deal. But Seth, thanks for helping us out this year, helping with the show. And coming up after this break, we're going to have another great college football highlight.
We'll be right back after the break.
Now, all that being said, Seth, out of those quarterbacks, out of those 3 quarterbacks, who's going to have not only the best rest of the season, but career?
Even though it doesn't look like it right now, I think E.J. Manuel, his problem right now, his play is being dictated by that Bills O-line. He's scrambling around. I think once they give him a pocket to work with, he can really drive the ball down the field. I like this kid's arm. He can have a future in the end.
It's going to be great. With C.J. Spiller there to help him, he doesn't have to do all the work either. Bat, how about you?
I don't want to say Mike Glennon. I'm going to say Mike Glennon. He's not going to be expected to have a good game. This defense isn't going to be coming at him as hard as they're going to be going at Doug Martin. And he's also going against the worst passing defense of the 3 starting rookie quarterbacks.
True.
Derek?
You know, right now I got to go with Geno Smith. I got to go with the guy with the W's. I know, it's tough.
Got the W's.
I didn't think I was going to say it, but I like him as a prototypical quarterback. He seems like he's got great throwing motion, a lot of improvement over what they had. I think that right now Rex Ryan is what's killing him.
That's easily their biggest problem.
He's a defensive coach and a great defensive coach, like his brother. They're just the Ryan family is great, but he just cannot run an offense, I don't think, and I just hope it does not hurt Geno in the long term.
He forgets about the other side of the ball, honestly, Derek, and it's going to hurt Geno.
Yeah, but I really hope it does not hurt him.
He's going to end up like Mark Sanchez, I think, unfortunately.
Don't say that.
I don't know if I could pick Geno Smith, but I would like to see E.J. Manuel show up to the plate. You know, he's a good quarterback. It's just he deserves it right now. Well, Seth, thanks for your time, for your picks. And after this break, Derek and I's new segment, Studs and Duds, will be coming right up. Don't go anywhere because we'll be right back.
Wow, what I would have given to be at that game. Oh my gosh, unbelievable. Now, out of those moments that we weren't there for that one, out of moments that you have lived to see, Seth, what is your favorite LSU moment?
I think hands down, and I was in the stadium for it. Little 17-year-old Seth Hewlin was in the stadium for this. 2007, LSU versus Florida. 4 for 4 on 4th downs. Jacob Hester manning up in the whole game. And in the middle of the game, they actually announced USC, who had been number 1 and number 2 with the Tigers pretty much all year. They announced that USC had lost an upset to Stanford 24-23. Huge win for the Tigers. And We were number 1 after that.
That is a great highlight. Now, Bat, you also have experienced your share of LSU football. What is your favorite moment?
The most improbable play in history, practically. Kentucky's head coach gets their Gatorade bath, and then we have Marcus Randall throw a 74-yard pass down Devery Henderson. Here we have the play. He just threw this, by the way, from the 18-yard line. Total bombs it all the way to 25 yards of floor. Everybody decides to tip it instead of just throw. Everybody goes for the interception. They tipped it in Devery's hands. Biggest dog pile I've ever seen in college football.
I saw a couple fans try to tackle Devery.
I don't know how he didn't break a couple ribs in
Devery
that
should
play,
just
to be
stiff-arm
honest
that guy in
with
the
you.
end zone right there.
I
See
think so.
Wildcats. Now, for me personally, I haven't seen many LSU football highlights. Obviously, not from around here. But my favorite that I've seen on TV was the 2007 BCS National Championship.
Right.
Les Miles first. Great game to watch. That's what I was really starting to get into. Yep, right when I was starting to get into the college football and watching Les Miles hoist the crystal ball first time. That's just a great feeling. And that was just a dominating win by Tigers. Matt Flynn, I'm still on that bus because I think he could be a quarterback. Let's see what he does with the Bills. Jacob Hester, great players. And well, Seth, thanks for your time and opinion. But coming up after the break, we give you yet another reason why Les Miles is the best college coach around.
As usual, you won't want to miss this Les Miles moment. Be right.
Great segment, first of all. Second of all, I don't know about this whole bow tie stuff. We didn't even start this here. But all that being said, who's your pick to take home the pennant?
Got to go with the Sox. You can call me a little biased if you want, but I really think they've got the hitting, they've got the pitching, and they've got what a lot of other teams don't have. They have a swagger that they know at the end of those 9 innings, they're coming out on top.
And it's really, in October, it is all about confidence, and it is big. Bat, how about you?
I have to call you out on liking the AL way too much, first off, because guess who it's going to be this year? It's all about the Bravos. I guarantee you right now they'll be hitting home runs out of the park all day, every game throughout the playoffs. They're going to go off and set all sorts of playoff records. But, Derek, what about you? And let's keep it quick right now because I don't want to hear about these Rockies.
Blah, blah, blah. Talking about power, we're going to go to the team with the most, in my opinion, the Tigers. I mean, you got Miggy coming out of there.
That's
you got Austin
guy.
Jackson. You got
Tough
Prince
lineup.
Fielder. I mean, and in my mind, I still got Scherzer's probably one of the best pitchers, and then Verlander. He's a quick second.
And yeah, the pitching really tightens up in October.
All right.
So.
Well, Seth, thank you very much for your time and everything else. But coming up after the break, Derek and I tell you, actually, we're going to show you a new video. This kid looks great. Don't miss anything.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Now, out of those teams, though, out of those 0-2 teams, which do you think are going to make the playoffs?
Well, Derek, I thought a lot about this one. I'm going to have to go with the Giants. They do this every single season. They really go. They're not very good in the regular season. They come storming in the playoffs. D-line's going to have to get better. Eli's going to have to get rid of that pick bug he's got going on right now. But Giants in the playoffs.
I feel bad for Tom Coughlin's blood pressure. Seriously. Now, how about you? What's your 0-2 team that's going to make it?
I'm going to have to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, they have. Yeah, you still have Big Ben. Let's not forget, he's an elite quarterback. He's got 2 rings on his fingers. He's a good quarterback. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they defeated themselves last week with the flags. Their rushing game, they need to pick up. We can pick up. We know. We can work on that. But they can take it to the house this year. Last year they did poorly in the beginning. They started coming back as well. They didn't make the playoffs, but they know what to do from here. I see them going back to the playoffs, but as a wild card and in week 17 is when
Right.
Derek, what do you think?
On this one, I'm going to take the Panthers. I mean, I'm kind of a wild card like yours. I don't think it's quite as wild as the Steelers there with that offense, but we got Cam Newton here. I mean, you got a guy who can run the ball, pass the ball. I like
Not
it.
a fun team to be on right now.
No. And Rob Rivera, he's not the right coach for there, but the defense, it's solid. They got leading tackler in the nation, Luke Kuechly. I mean, he's an outstanding athlete. But with that being said, those 0-2 teams, which 2-0 team is not going to make the cut?
Who got the vibe? It's the tribe, y'all. Chiefs. They got Andy Reid, they got Alex Smith, they got Dwayne Bowe, but they're not going to get enough wins. Peyton Manning, he's got that division locked up. No wild card for the Chiefs.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks, Seth, for your time and your picks. Coming up after the break, Derek and I show you the future of LSU football.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Now, out of all those, though, which do you think is the most likely to happen? I mean, you still got a long ways to go.
I got 2 words for you.
Okay.
I got 2 words for y'all. Prince Fielder. With him protecting Miguel Cabrera in the lineup, he's going to be getting cakes over the plate all day. They can't pitch around him. He's gonna get those home runs he needs. He's gonna catch Chris Davis. Triple crown coming.
But I mean, it's not even Prince. I mean, you got Torrey Hunter, you got Jackson. I mean,
Hitters all over the
literally
place.
that lineup could challenge the Braves one of the best hitting lineups. I mean, honestly. Now, who do you think? What do you think is the most likely to happen out of those?
I'm going to go with the Pirates.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
This year, this is a Cinderella story year for them. First time they're going to go to the playoffs since '92. Potentially the first time that they could win the series in '71. They have a great hitter, Andrew McCutchen, with their team. They also have the young Garrett Cole. They have a good team behind them, very strong, very likely that they could go far in the playoffs.
Coming through the National League, though, they got to make sure that pitching rotation is going to stay solid.
Yep, that is true.
How about you,
Well,
Derek?
Seth, thank you for your picks. And coming up after the break, Derek and I show you the future of LSU football.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.